Easiest question tonight, probably. If it was up to you, what would you do with the Tropicana Field site and why?
Yes,
Dream big.
Very easy question. So there's so much land available for development that I think it would be a mistake to say I want this one thing. I'd like to see the community sort of re-stitched together, or to have the street grid reintroduced to that area. And then I'd like to see it developed with a neighborhood idea so that there's different segments. Instead of trying to say 86 acres and it's all going to be like this, we want to have different areas, maybe some more low-rise, some denser, some more commercial, some more family-oriented. So that would just be off the top of my head what I would go with.
I agree from a structural standpoint. I would say philosophically, I'd like to see there's enough there. The old adage says everybody eats. That there should be room for local entrepreneurs, local developers, statewide entrepreneurs and developers, national developers as well. And I'd like to see it sort of go up and down that range. And again, I think the project is so big that literally everybody should eat.
Good evening, everyone. Can you all hear me okay? Thank you for having me. For me, from a sustainability standpoint, an environmental standpoint, I like to see us focus on resiliency, including net zero energy use, solar-ready construction, and microgrids for emergency response. Whatever we build there, it needs to be able to withstand a Cat 5 hurricane. It needs to be a combination of things, a community hub, a resiliency hub. It should be inclusive. It should have green space. It should have things that mean something to each one of us. So I think it's an opportunity, as we heard, for this to be a reconfiguration of our legacy. And the question I will pose to you all now, and I'll come back to it, when we look at this, what is our legacy and what do we want our legacy to be? I'm deeply rooted in legacy planning right now as a Black woman in the space. So as I look at my legacy 7 generations from now, I pose the question to all of you, what does your legacy look like?
Good evening. I'm going to divide my response to this question into 2 parts. The first part is what I want to happen. The second part is what I think has to happen. What I want to happen is more baseball. I was 13 years old when I went to the Rays opening day with a friend and my parents. My mom is here in the audience tonight. And so it's not a reach to say that baseball is part of my culture. It is part of our environment here in St. Petersburg and throughout Pinellas County, and it is hard to see them go. But moving to the second response, I understand that may have to happen, and we may have to engage with other stakeholders and pursue other priorities. And I accept that because the negotiations and the history of the site would lend itself towards a different, more creative solution. I agree with what Peter said in terms of diversifying the facilities there, and I agree with the idea of having it be resilient. I think there's a long way to go to figure out what that mix actually consists of, but I do accept that it has to change.
Well, I might begin by saying I wanted to say that. But I do think I would like to begin with baseball because I think there's a simpatico between St. Pete and baseball. It fits. I say that from the standpoint that I went to the preseason games. What do you call them?
Spring training.
Okay. I went to those games, and I remember the day that my mother let me drive the car, and I saw Larry Doby, who was here for spring training, and he waved. I remember that all these years. So I think there's something about that's very special about baseball. My friend's 90-year-old mother was selected by the Times and the Rays to, and they went to her home, had her picked up by a limousine and taken to the game because she was a Rays fan. Now that was maybe, no, she was 98 when that happened. But she listened to the Rays game on radio. That's how committed she was. Those are just examples of how important I think it is. I think it needs to happen. I know that there are several financial issues that are probably I'm not as astute on, but I'm sure those who make those decisions, own those decisions, I pray will make the right ones, and it'll all happen. So that St. Petersburg is a city that is family, that welcomes families. I think that's important.
Amen.
Thank you.
All right.